Hello, my friends. I hope you've had a great week in business. We spoke on the podcast this week around discounting, a problem in the community around chronic discounting when they're selling their products or services. And what we said in the podcast was, hey, tune in here and we'll give you 5 quick tips of how we would approach a discounting issue and what we would do as a performance business. So let's get stuck into it. Number 1, first of all, understanding your value proposition. What is a value proposition? That's the articulation you have as a business when you meet any new prospect. Obviously online, you're doing that through a website or any sort of interface. When we're offline and we're doing a sales interaction, the value proposition is being with a prospect, understanding their problem, and being able to articulate the solution that you have as a business in a way that meets their problem. If that sounds complicated, it means, does the prospect believe or understand that you're the person who can solve their current issue or the solution that they're looking to buy? So refining that, being able to articulate that, looking at where that falls apart is critical for all businesses, particularly as you evolve, as your products and services evolve, and as you as a company get more refined at who you're trying to serve. And that leads straight to number 2. Who are you talking to? Who are you in front of? Who is your prospect? A lot of businesses have issues because they get knocked around by not being able to close sales. They're getting enough leads in, but they don't seem to be able to close. And then you ask the simple question of, who are you talking to? And they say, well, I'm talking to these people. And you ask the second question, which is, are they a qualified lead? What's a qualified lead? It means the type of lead that you know could be an ideal client. They meet the criteria as an ideal client. If you're speaking to the wrong type of leads and you're not closing, you start to lose your confidence because you're wondering, why don't these people want to buy from me? But when you realize because we're attracting the wrong sort of leads, you're not going to worry about not selling to them because they're not the people you should be selling to. Let me give you a really crude example. I attract the right person with the right problem, but they literally have no money. Now, are they a good client for me? Absolutely not, because one of the criteria for our filtration is they can afford the service. So have a look at your sales funnel and ask yourself, am I attracting the right leads? Because then I can work out whether my value proposition needs some work. Number 3. Number 3 is knowing exactly how much you can afford to acquire a customer for. This is very, very important. As a business, what's the price you can pay that if I said, give me that amount of money and you can have as many of those customers as you want, what is that number for you? And if you're sitting there not quite sure of exactly the number that you can afford to pay, then you need to do some work here. You need to work out what is the profit in each of my clients or each of my interactions. That's not just the crude buying and selling, because we call that a gross profit. You've sold something, you have the cost of selling that, the number. It's also understanding all the fixed costs of running your business. As smaller businesses, this is something that's done very, very poorly, because until you understand how much you can afford to buy a customer, you never know how much you can discount if you need to discount at all. But knowing that number is crucial. And if you don't know that number, you're going to need to do some work, because once we start becoming a bigger business, once we start becoming more advanced, we're going to want to start to scale. And we're going to need to know what is the average lifetime value of a customer and what is the acquisition cost of a customer. Because when we know how much it costs us to get a client and the lifetime value of that client, we can start to predict how much profit we can make, and we can start working out the metrics to invest a certain amount of money into more advanced growth tactics to make your business grow faster and scale to whatever you want. And that leads into number 4. Number 4 is understanding what an objection means to price. A lot of the time, people bring up objections, and as you as a client start to think, oh, they don't want to buy from me, they don't understand the value, I don't know what to do. I better offer a discount. I better offer a discount. I better offer a discount. That's not what people mean when they're bringing up price as an objection. What a lot of humans do, particularly in a face-to-face interaction, is they bring up price because they're naturally looking for reinforcement for the decision they're about to make to buy from you. And when they see your reaction, they naturally feel that they're going to get a discount. But if you're someone who looks forward to them bringing up price objection, more importantly, perhaps you bring up price before they even get to their objection, you'll be able to work through the value proposition, reinforce the problem that you're going to solve for them, and really show that you understand their problem more than anyone. Because once someone gets that feeling that you're the one that understands their problem and you can solve it, they're less likely to not only want a discount, but ask for a discount. And the great thing is, even when they ask and you don't offer that, the fact that you understand their problem and they try and put you up against someone else that might be able to offer a solution, they're generally going to go to the person that they believe can fix the problem first, not just the price. And that's a really important thing to note. Price objection doesn't mean they're questioning your value, they're reinforcing their decision. And now we look at number 5. Number 5 is really important. This is about understanding how to use discounting as a positive strategy for your business. So where can I use discounting to grab that extra 10 or 20% that is the cherry on top? Not using it as a strategy to completely discount the money you need to actually run the business. When you understand your break-even points, when you understand where you can use discounting, you can use it as a severe advantage in your market. For instance, I like to find a secondary gain. So if someone wants a discount, that means I pull a different lever. Sure, you can have a discount on that, but instead of the contract being 12 months, it's 18 months. Instead of buying a kilo of it, it's 1.5 kilos. Using different metrics to make sure that even if you do supply a discount, it's at your advantage to limit the cost of that client for you and to maximize profitability. But when you understand how discounting can better work for you, you've got more things in your arsenal and you can make sure that you're armed in sales interactions to get the best result. Hope you've enjoyed this. Check out the podcast and look forward to seeing you again.